Imagine waking from a dream so vivid, so alive, that you could no longer tell if you were yourself or something else entirely. This is the story of Zhuangzi and the butterfly. The philosopher Zhuangzi was a man who walked through the world with a quiet smile, his eyes always catching the hidden threads that bound heaven and earth, wind and whisper. He found wisdom not only in dusty scrolls, but in the crooked branch of a tree, the effortless path of a river, the languid arc of a bird's flight. He loved the question of things more than the answer, savoring the mystery like fine tea. One afternoon, the world was drenched in golden honey light. Cicadas thrummed their drowsy chorus, and the air was thick with the perfume of magnolia blossoms. Zhuangzi, weary from a morning of contemplation, lay down in the shade of a great ancient mulberry tree. The cool earth and the scent of blossoms wrapped around him like a gentle quilt. Behind his closed eyelids, the sun's warmth painted his vision red, each beat of his heart a slow and steady drum in the silence. As sleep drew him deeper, his thoughts did not fade. They lifted, grew lighter, like lanterns floating upward. The weight of his body, the boundary of his skin, the very sense of being Zhuangzi began to feel less like truth and more like a faint, dissolving memory. A delicious sensation bloomed in his chest, a lightness beyond words, a promise of becoming. And then, he was no longer feeling it. He was it. He was no longer a man. He was sunlight and air, a pulse of pure joy given form. His body was delicate silk, his wings painted with colors more intricate than any calligraphy, veined with threads of living light. He was a butterfly. There was no shock in the revelation. Of course he was a butterfly. Had he ever been anything else? He pushed with his perfect new wings and rose into the air. The world exploded into a kaleidoscope of sensation. Nectar called to him from flowers he had never noticed. A dewdrop glimmered with the breadth of the universe. The wind was no longer resistance, it was a partner, lifting him, twirling him in a glorious, effortless dance. He drifted on 1,000 breezes, sipping sweetness, reveling in the unthinking happiness of being exactly what he was in an eternal, perfect present. Over his own garden he fluttered and saw a man asleep beneath the mulberry tree. The man's face was serene, his dreams no doubt pleasant. For an instant, a flicker stirred within the butterfly, not recognition, but the faint echo of shared peace. Then it vanished, lost to the rapture of flight. Time passed as butterflies know it, bright, brief, infinite. But the brilliance began to blur. The flowers softened, their colors bleeding together. The exquisite touch of the wind grew dull, diffused. His antennae no longer caught the symphony of sense. The air thickened. The joyous lightness gave way to a strange, old weight. A dull thud. The kaleidoscope shattered. The taste of nectar was gone. Only the plain taste of his own mouth remained. The 1,000 fragrances vanished, leaving only grass and soil. Zhuangzi opened his eyes. He lay on his back, the mulberry branches swaying above him against the blue sky. His body was heavy, leaden, and achingly real. The dream clung to him with such intensity he gasped aloud. Slowly, he sat up. His hands trembled as he stared at them, man's hands. They could hold a brush, yes, but they could never feel the wind as wings had felt it. An aching homesickness swept through him, for a form he had never truly possessed, yet missed with every fiber of his soul. A white butterfly danced above the magnolia blossoms. Zhuangzi watched it, his heart beating with awe and grief. And then the question came, not as a puzzle for philosophers, but as a cry from the deepest part of himself. Am I Zhuangzi who dreamt he was a butterfly? The memory was still alive in him. The wind beneath his phantom wings, the joy that had been his joy. Or, he thought, dizzy with wonder, am I a butterfly, now dreaming that I am a man named Zhuangzi? Perhaps his entire life, his books, his garden, even this heavy body was nothing but a dream woven by a tiny creature curled inside a blossom. The ground beneath him no longer felt solid. The sky no longer felt distant. The boundary between man and butterfly, between waking and dreaming, between reality and illusion had dissolved completely. A slow smile spread across his face, not confusion, but liberation. Certainty itself melted away like morning mist. In its place rose a deep and humble awe before the vast mystery of existence. He rose and walked back to his house, but he walked differently now. Each step carried the awareness that all things might be dream, and because of that, all things were sacred. He had learned the greatest wisdom, that the self is not a fortress, but a flowing river. That identity is a veil to be held lightly, and that the truest way to live is not with answers clenched tight, but with the wonder of a butterfly or a man blessed to glimpse the infinite doubt at the heart of all things. Moral: true wisdom lies not in claiming to know the boundaries of reality and self, but in embracing the mystery. Our certainty is a cage. Wonder is the key that sets the soul free to dance on the wind between worlds. In the end, the boundary between man and butterfly dissolved, and all that remained was wonder. If this tale stirred something in you, let it be known, and we'll return to more stories that hover between waking and dream.